at my husband's family charity gala, the night that was supposed to shine with fairy lights, polished speeches, and polite laughter, my sister-in-law Danielle turned it into a circus, using my 8-year-old son as the clown. It started the moment we walked into the hall. The chandeliers glowed gold, cameras flashed, people in suits and gowns swirled around us like we'd stepped into a movie premiere. My son Noah held my hand tightly. Crowds made him anxious, but he still tried to smile. And then, before he even had the chance to adjust, Danielle's shrill voice cut through the room like a blade coated in glitter. "Everyone!" she shouted with theatrical excitement, lifting her champagne flute as though announcing a royal decree. "Look who finally arrived! The charity case and her slow kid!" The 50 guests around her froze. A couple choked on their drinks. Some tried to pretend they hadn't heard. Others peeked at me with pity, the same pity I'd grown to despise, the kind that walked hand in hand with silent judgment. Danielle strutted toward us in her too-tight silver gown, smirking as she looked down at Noah. "Come on, sweetheart," she cooed in a mock baby voice. "Say something cute for everyone." "Oh, wait, you can't, right? That's okay. Some kids develop slower than others. Don't worry, Auntie Danielle understands." My son's shoulders curled inward, his lip trembled. And suddenly, I wasn't in that decorated ballroom anymore. I was back in the delivery room 8 years ago, hearing the doctor say my baby had a neurological delay. Back in the therapist's rooms, watching him struggle to hold a crayon. Back in parent-teacher meetings where teachers said he was kind but behind. And always with Danielle rolling her eyes, whispering how my defective parenting was holding the family back. Tonight, she wasn't whispering. She was performing, loudly, publicly, for applause. And the worst part? Her audience gave it to her. Polite laughter bubbled around the room like fizz from cheap champagne. People didn't laugh because they agreed with her. They laughed because they feared being her next target. Noah tugged on my sleeve. "Mom," he whispered, voice barely audible, "can we go home?" I knelt and cupped his cheeks. "Soon, baby," I whispered. "I promise." But I wasn't leaving, not tonight, because for the first time in years, something in me shifted from hurt to steel. Danielle wasn't going to break my son. Not again, not ever. As I rose, I locked eyes with her, and she laughed as if she'd already won. "Loosen up," she said, flicking her wrist. "It's just a joke. These events need entertainment. And honestly, if your kid can't talk properly, at least he can be good for comedic relief." My husband Mark finally rushed over, face pale. "Danielle, what the hell is wrong with you?" "I'm helping," she said innocently. "The guests were bored, and you know this family's image matters. If your wife insists on bringing the charity mascot to high-end events..." Danielle had spent years humiliating me, undermining my confidence, whispering poison into the ears of everyone around us. She believed no one would stand up to her because she was wealthy, influential, and the darling of her social circle. She'd always been protected. Tonight, she made the mistake of attacking my child, and I had come prepared. Because earlier that week, Noah's therapist had called with an incredible update. My son, who'd struggled for years to speak full sentences confidently, had read an entire paragraph out loud. I hadn't told a soul. I wanted Noah to reveal it himself when he felt ready. I had no idea that tonight would become the perfect moment. But fate has a sense of humor. I gently touched Noah's shoulder. "Baby," I whispered, "remember the story you practiced?" His eyes widened. "The space one?" "Yes," I said, giving him a warm smile. "If you want, you can show everyone how amazing you are." He hesitated. His anxiety tightened his small hands into fists. But he looked at Danielle's smirking face, the guests staring, and then at me. And he nodded. My brave little boy stepped forward. The mic was sitting on a stand nearby, set up for after-dinner speeches, and I helped lift it to his height. Conversations died out. Guests stared, confused, curious. Danielle folded her arms, already preparing to laugh. Noah cleared his throat. and in the softest, purest voice, he began reading the paragraph he had memorized about planets, stars, galaxies. His voice trembled, but he kept going, word after word, sentence after sentence, until finally he finished. The entire hall went silent. Then someone began clapping, then another. Then the entire room erupted into applause so loud the chandeliers trembled. My son looked up, stunned. His eyes filled with such pride I felt my heart expand to bursting. I wrapped my arms around him. "You were perfect," I whispered. Danielle, meanwhile, looked as though she'd swallowed a lemon dipped in humiliation. Her face blotched red, her jaw twitched. She glared around the room as if everyone mocking her instead. And then she hissed, "He probably memorized it. It doesn't count. Anyone can do that. He's still behind." The applause died. The crowd stiffened again, this time not with amusement, but disgust. Mark stepped forward. "Enough." "Oh, please," she scoffed. "You're all acting like he cured cancer. He read a speech. Congratulations. Do you want a parade?" I smiled, calmly, almost sweetly, because this was the moment I had been waiting for. "Actually," I said, loud enough for the microphone to catch it, "Noah didn't just read a speech." The spotlight swung toward me, cameras lifted, every eye locked in. "He broke the record at his therapy center this month. He is academically above average for his age, and today we got his evaluation letter." Danielle blinked. "What letter?" "The one confirming Noah has officially exited his delay program. He no longer qualifies. In other words," I paused, "the child you called slow is now performing at higher levels than most children his age." People gasped. Mark squeezed my shoulder. Noah clung to my dress, confused but happy. Danielle sputtered. You're lying. Show the letter then." "Of course," I said, and I pulled the envelope from my bag. Guests crowded closer like sharks smelling blood. Danielle snatched it and tore it open. Her eyes flickered as she read. And then, silence. She went white, the perfect venomous villain finally speechless. Cameras flashed, phones recorded. This was going to spread through the entire family tree by morning. "Looks like," I said softly, "you owe my son an apology." The crowd murmured in agreement. But instead of apologizing, Danielle exploded. "You humiliated me," she screamed. "You set me up." "No," I said steadily. "You humiliated yourself. You tried to destroy a child in front of 50 people. The only thing I did was give him a chance to shine." Danielle glanced around, realizing no one was on her side. Not her friends, not her husband, not even her mother. And then, as if the universe wanted to deliver one final slap, the event organizer rushed up to me. "Ma'am," she said breathlessly, "are you Noah's mother?" "Yes." "Someone from the children's charity wants to speak to him. They want him to be their young ambassador for the year." Gasps, cheers. Noah's eyes widened in wonder. Danielle's face crumpled like a dying paper lantern. Her reign of cruelty ended right there, and I knew the moment was perfect to close the door on years of torment. "Danielle," I said, voice calm, "you are no longer welcome around my son." "You can't do that," she snapped. "Mark, tell her." Mark stepped forward. "She can, and she is, and I support her." Danielle's jaw dropped. "What about family?" "Family," he said coldly, "doesn't tear down children." And with that, security escorted Danielle out as the entire room watched. Some whispered, some filmed, some simply shook their heads at the downfall of a woman who thought cruelty was entertainment. Meanwhile, Noah was surrounded by people praising him, encouraging him, telling him how brave he was. He beamed, really beamed, in a way I had never seen. And as I held him, I realized Danielle hadn't ruined the night. She had accidentally created one of the greatest moments of my son's life, and I wasn't done. The next morning, I sent the video to the family group chat, and as expected, the entire clan roasted her into irrelevance. That night, Mark and I tucked Noah into bed after he excitedly practiced new words from his science book. I kissed his forehead. "You know," I whispered, "you showed everyone who you really are." He smiled sleepily. "Did I do good, Mommy?" "Baby," I whispered, "you were extraordinary." And from that day forward, nobody dared mock him again.